Hi, this is Anna, and in today's video I'm going to do a little bit of a different type of video. So instead of a tutorial, I'll actually run through a little card sketch challenge that I decided to take part in. So I was having a little bit of a creative lull and thought I needed something just to get the creative juices flowing. So I had a bit of a look on YouTube and through Pinterest, and in my search I came across this wonderful lady's YouTube channel, which is Cards by Kendra. Of course, I will attach all links and actually a link to this wonderful information on this card sketch itself, challenge. So what she's been doing, it looks like for the last, I think just over a year, she's for each quarter, so for a 3-month period, she's been running these card sketch challenges. And what she does is she provides card sketches. This one here is for 15 cards. So what I'll do is I'll in more detail run through the cards that I made using her card sketches. Not only does she provide these wonderful card sketch ideas, she also provides the cutting templates. So what it is 6 pieces of coordinating 6x6 patterned paper, and then she runs through all of those cutting instructions. So what I'll do is I will link below her video which shows you how to cut the paper, but it is sort of fairly self-explanatory. She's got a little pair of scissors as to where the first cut should be for each page, as well as, you know, color coding them. So you'll notice that you know, on this page here she's got green, so that'll be one of the pieces, you know, card sketch 2, that's number 2 is on that one there. So she's laid it out so brilliantly and lovely and made it super easy to take part in. So you know, I encourage you, go over and have a look. It's so fantastic to find people that are so clever that can do these sorts of things, and you know, it's always great to take part in, you know, community type of challenges. So without further ado, I'll show you the cards that I came up with and just have a little run through of what I made. So what I'm going to do is I'll leave this sheet which has the individual card sketches on. So as you can see, this is 1 to 6. What I did is when I was actually cutting up all the pieces, I actually labelled little plastic cello, or should I say cello envelopes, and I put all the pieces in there so that I would, otherwise I'd have a million different pieces all over the place. And that was a really great tip that Kendra did put on her video, and makes it much easier, you know, to keep control and track of all your pieces. So this one here is, so I just labelled it card number. But this is card number 1, so looking at this one here. So what I did is obviously I coordinate my papers, and you know, she had like a little sentiment across here. What I did is I just changed that up and I put just a strip of like a banner on there, and I made a little feature with that beautiful sentiment there, which is quite great. I enjoyed sort of doing that one there. The colours are just quite striking and very appealing for a nice thank you card. So card number 2. So this one here had 3 different panels. So what I did is I wanted to make, I didn't have the right size sort of oval, so I changed it to a rectangle and turned it into a shaker. So it has a little bit of shake there. And this one here sort of was quite cute. Also just using a You Are the Best, you know, sort of multi-theme type of card. Number 3. Okay, so this one here, so pretty much stuck to this. I think my circle is just a little bit bigger, but I did actually move it down slightly and added a sentiment to the side. So you can change these up. They are just a basic card sketch to give you some indication, but sometimes you won't always have exactly what's on there. So just do what works for you, and put this gorgeous little lion here, this little party lion, which I absolutely adore. Pop that one there. So keeping with this little lion happy birthday theme, moving on to card number 4. So this one here had 4 separate pieces, and funnily enough I thought, God, hopefully they'll all coordinate. So that is one really big thing, is really having a look at your papers and making sure they all coordinate with each other. Using a double-sided paper is also really great because sometimes, you know, the other side might work better for you and it just gives you a little flexibility. Bit more is the word I'm looking for. So I kept fairly close to this sketch. However, obviously I added a sentiment here rather than just placing it in just in this sort of white space here, and added my gorgeous little lion again. He's so cute. So I'll move that there. Now moving on to number 5. So this one here, actually I had to leave this one to the very last. Believe it or not, being obviously quite a simple card, it was the one that stumped me the most. It should have been easy because it was, but I thought, what am I going to do with this space? So in the end, this is what I did. So in fact I used that one strip. However, I felt like I needed something more, so I did get another little piece of matching patterned paper and then put a little focal point there. This one here, you know, you can do whatever you want with this one here. You know, it's sort of a free-for-all, but this is just a basic sort of outlay. I just wanted something because I think because this pattern paper was really quite plain, I needed something just to zhuzh it up a bit, and then just put my sentiment just along there. And yeah, you'll see I've done a few of them also with these little candy jars. Okay, and lucky number 6 on this last sheet here. So once again using the candy jar. So in this instance I just did not have anything that I could make work for that rectangular piece, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to go with the base, sort of making much smaller little circles on here and placing them differently, because obviously I added a bigger sort of circle on this one here. It sort of just changed the dynamics of it, but the base of it was still the same. So obviously you'll see I've got the little sentiment here, and with this one here I did add some pattern paper in the back, so I just felt the white with this fairly white patterned paper was just a bit too white for my liking, so just to give it a bit more brightness, which is that one there. So then I'll move on to 7 to 12 of the card sketches. I'll just grab those. Okay, so this one here, I decided to do something a little bit different, and what I did is in this top bit, it does say to put like either stenciling or embossing. So I actually embossed some vellum. So it still gave it a white look, but you know, it's just some thank you words in lots of different languages. I'll just hold that up close so you can have a look at that. And then I put a much smaller tag, and then just using that paper, I just think it just looks so beautiful. But so thanks there and a heartfelt gratitude, I thought was quite cute. It's one of my favorites, this one here. It just is, it's so simple but just very striking with the stark color and then, you know, plain white. Moving on to number 8, so this one here. Now I decided not to go with the bow down here, and I decided to use this rectangular piece as a tag. So obviously that one there, I didn't use the little dots in the corner there either, and I put a sentiment across the bottom here. So a little bit of a change up, but as you can see, you know, go with what you've got, and you know, it's still that same sort of base, but just making it your own. Which once again, those lolly candy jars are just so cute with my little gummy bears in there. And following on is number 9. So this one here is reasonably the same. So once again, I used that great big stamp there, can't thank you enough. Nice bright colours in the back there, and I just put a bow rather than the ribbon all the way around, but a fairly close one on that. And we've got number 10, so this one here, once again, I mean, sort of fairly white card, but with those sort of striking highlights of the navy, and then of course my little gorgeous gummy bears there in the candy jar, and then just adding this little sentiment, which just sort of creates a nice pop of colour, fairly close to that same card sketch. Just obviously adding that sentiment at the bottom. This one here, also another one that I've really enjoyed, but this is number 11, and I just think this one came out so cute. It's just so pretty. I like all the colours, a lot going on there, but I think it's a really cute one. Obviously I've added a bigger sentiment in that, and on top of these separate strips of paper I've added a little decoration on each. There's that one there. Okay, getting up to 12. So this was the last one. Now this one here also was a little tricky for me. I'm someone who really likes straight lines. So these angles put me off a little. However, I got there finally. And, you know, having this sort of whiter sort of colour in the back, I decided to put a third layer on top of this one here. So you'll see here, this is just a double layer, and you know, I would assume that maybe you would do your sentiment and decoration or embellishment on that, but I just felt it needed a little bit more colour, so I just added in the purple. So that's just an additional piece of patterned paper, and then I just matched the lollies back to the purple and mustardy sort of colour on that. And that one there was quite I actually quite liked that one, and I'm very happy with the way that that one turned out in the end. So moving on to the last three cards, so cards 13 to 15. I'll just grab those. So moving on to card 13. So this card was intended to be vertical. However, once again, I just didn't have a stamp set that was sort of in that longer sort of looking or embellishment that I could work with, I thought at the time, and I really wanted to make this one a thank you card. So what I did is I turned it and made it horizontal. So I think that still works. It's actually quite lovely. Once again, having those lighter colours, I just felt that the plain white was just a little too plain for my liking. So I just embossed it with another sheet of just white cardstock, and just really subtle, but just adds that little bit of texture and interest, and you know, really like the way that one there turned out, and I think that's quite a pretty one. So heading on to number 14. My lovely little lion. So 14, my lovely lion has come back. So what you'll see is pretty much the same layout. Instead of perhaps maybe even putting a sentiment down here, I decided just to make that an embossed bit of navy cardstock, and then embellished obviously the circle and just added happy birthday onto there. Nice and bright, great for a kid's card, or a big kid at hearts might also enjoy that card. And lucky last was this one here, which actually was the two present type looking ones. This also was a little bit tricky for me, because by this stage you're sort of up to some of these smaller pieces. So what I ended up doing was, particularly with these two top pieces of the presents, I ended up swapping out those two little pieces of patterned, because they just sort of looked a bit too wishy-washy, and just popped in the navy, which has been obviously my highlight colour for most of these cards. So just using a little embossing folder on that. I don't know, I'll see if we get that there. I'm not sure if that comes up or not, but just a dot emboss, and then putting the sentiment across there. And I just love this card. In the end, I was really pleased with this one here. I love that burst of yellow in the background, and then just matted it again. So I've added a little bit more onto this one here, because I just felt it just needed you know, like something quite bright in the background, but I didn't want the navy. I thought it would be too dark. And then just obviously embossed with a very subtle embossing folder on this scalloped rectangle. So there are my cards and my my effort in this 15 card challenge. I'd just like to say a big thank you to Kendra, who put this together. It was a really fun and you know, wonderful challenge to take part in. I would really love to do another one. I might go back because I haven't done challenges 1 to 4 previous to this, and I might just have a go at those as well. But yes, very much look forward to card challenge number 6. So this card challenge runs through to the end of the month, March 2022. So I'll be eagerly awaiting to see card challenge number 6, and we'll definitely take part and do another little video on what I came up with. It's so great to see everyone's interpretations and, you know, different uses of different papers and colors and how it can change, all using the same card sketches. So thanks for watching. I hope that this gives you some inspiration. If you're stuck on one of these card sketches, you know, it's great to see someone else's ideas and you think, oh yeah, that'll look good. That's great. So enjoy and happy crafting.